What's up, everyone? Joe Gray here today with another AMA warm up. I'm joined by my dude Zach from TrueForm. Zach, what's up, man?
What's going on, Joe? How's it going?
Good. It's Monday. Keeping busy. It's
Exactly.
cold outside, but California cold, so can't
Yeah, I
complain.
got Connecticut cold, so we got the real stuff.
There you go. I talked to a lot of people that are in kind of the Midwest area, East Coast, etc., and I
Mm.
always add that California cold piece because I'm like, yeah, it's like 50, so it's cold here. And
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, it's only -12, so we're fine. So,
yeah,
right on. So, we're going to hop right in. We normally go quick into this one. So, first one, for anybody that doesn't know True Form, who are you? Why are you here?
yeah. TrueForm curved non-motorized treadmills. So we sell treadmills that are curved and non-motorized. Pretty simple. Doing it for a little over 10 years now. Originally based out of Connecticut, where I'm from. I came into the company a couple years after it launched, and now run the company. But the treadmills have been around since 2013, 2014-ish, but really 2015 was our big kind of break into the consumer space with getting into the CrossFit Games. And we like to say, and even people in the CrossFit space will agree, we brought indoor running to CrossFit, or
Hmm.
the kind of the functional fitness aspect of running to CrossFit, and part of that wave as well. And so we've been, thriving ever since. We started with our runner model, which is our high-end commercial grade, all made in USA products. And then in 2020, right before the pandemic, not timing it too perfectly with that, we came out with our trainer model, which is our light commercial use product. And it's kind of known almost as the sibling to the runner.
Hmm.
Shares the same curve, shape, design, a little bit smaller footprint, really designed for the home gym. Although professional athletes and sports teams have used that product and beat the crap out of it and really love the trainer. So it's not a lesser product, even though the initial design was, hey, this is a kind of light commercial
Sure.
CrossFit home gym use treadmill. But
Yeah.
we're today kind of went through a big little transition the past year, switching some manufacturing and operations over. Still making our product in Connecticut, the runner model, and then trainer one we make overseas, but have some really exciting stuff for 2025. And so I'm excited for this next year ahead.
Nice. Yeah, the light commercial concept, the way I've kind of explained it to people from my end, I don't know how you guys explain it to your customers and stuff. I go, home gym is like just, it'll work for everybody at their house. Light commercial is kind of like if you're a bigger, stronger athlete, sports gyms, etc. The difference between the light commercial and commercial is commercial is going to go in a space where a bunch of people who don't care about it, don't know how it
Yeah.
works, anything, bang on it, throw crap on it, film their
Mhm.
TikToks, whatever, and do wild stuff. Light commercial, like your athletes are taking care of the equipment, even if it's in their like it's not their space, it's their team space or whatever, because
Mhm.
they're gonna take care of themselves and everything, and they
Yeah.
want it to work and the whole deal. So the difference with that commercial piece is really like, can it withstand some dummy being crazy and doing weird stuff? So
You explained it perfectly. That's exactly how when someone comes in and I kind of get the feeling of messages sometimes when they ask, what's the difference between the runner, the commercial grade, and the trainer, the light commercial use. And I go into my spiel and I kind of feel like sometimes the conversation drips to like, I really want the trainer. I mean, I really want the runner, but is the trainer enough? I'm like,
yeah,
it's more than enough.
yep,
It's exactly that. Or is it the treadmill gonna be in a space where it's gonna be beat the crap? Do you want to leave it outside 24/7? Because you
there
can
you
do that
go.
with the runner. It's waterproof. It's great. But if you're someone who takes care of your product, the trainer goes above and beyond for the
Yeah,
price point that you
there
get
you
it
go.
at. So
Nice. I like it. Cool. All right, so number two, tell me about your lifting experience, fitness, etc. Kind of true
yeah,
forms experience, that whole deal.
yeah. I mean, I run a running company, but I haven't always been a runner. Started
Okay.
off my life as a baseball player, ice hockey player. Did that for a number of years. After you're kind of hang them up after college, just transitioned to anything and everything fitness related. I wasn't a huge fitness guy early on, but got into it. Did the usual, just basic lifting stuff in the gym, and put on the freshman 15, like a lot of people in college. So try to work some of that off, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just start running like everybody does. And,
Yeah.
and it's a pretty easy sport or activity to get into. You lace it up, you go outside. And then over the years, I found a love and passion for running and fitness in general. So picked up running, did all the usual 5Ks, half marathons, and over the years, transitioned to some ultra running as well. Last year, I ran a 300-mile race, which was pretty fun and exciting. And but it still include a lot of lifting. I'm a bigger dude, bigger runner. I'm 6'3", 205 on a good day. So I need to keep myself in shape to be able to
Yeah,
run, be able to handle the mileage. So I squat, bench, deadlift when I can. It's about 2 to 3 days a week because most of my time is running or running around with my kids even
yeah,
as well. So that takes up time. So I kind of
yeah,
split in between there, but do all the traditional barbell lifts. I'm a big proponent of combining the two when you can, running,
yeah.
functional fitness, and lifting. Keep your body healthy and strong. So that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, running has been a passion of mine for last 15 or so years, and it's been very fortunate to turn into a career and be able to work with TrueForm.
Nice. Yeah, the cardio piece is so I coach my daughter's soccer and basketball team, and the conversations I've had with a handful of the parents because they're trying to look for the next fancy thing, right? They're only 7, but still, they're like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
what drill thing, whatever. And I'm like, can you just have them go ride their bike a lot? Like,
yeah.
just like up their cardio. I promise you, that's like the first thing. If you can get their cardio up, they'll be exponentially better than what they were the day before. Just have them go
Yeah,
on
100%.
walks and whatever. And then
Yeah,
the next one was, I was like, and then get them stronger, right?
yeah.
Like, have them do push ups and body weight squats and pull-ups and whatever they can do. Let them go to the park and hang on the monkey bars and whatever. Like those two combined make a pretty brutal athlete.
Oh,
Um,
100%. I mean, if you're a primarily a lifter or a strength sport athlete, like you said, the cardio, the conditioning is going to improve your lifts.
yep,
You can cut down rest time, be a little more efficient when you're lifting, and obviously be more efficient if you're playing an actual sport that requires you to run or do any sort of running. And then if you're on the running side of things, whether you're a bigger individual like myself or, your traditional smaller runner, you still want to build a frame that can support yourself to run
yep,
any distance and be more efficient over time and
yep,
translate some of that strength into power that you put into the ground to keep you moving and
yep.
it goes into our ethos of a curved treadmill that you actually have to put force into to get it to move because there's no buttons to press. So
There you go. Yeah, yeah. I saw the two that I normally use from like the lifter slash runner perspective is West Side Barbell, right?
mm,
Historical, biggest, baddest, craziest lifters. Louis was a big proponent of GPP, just general
yeah,
physical preparedness. And
100%.
it's like if those guys who are pushing 1,000-pound squats and one of their big dudes recently, I think had like a 3180 total or something just mind-blowingly insane. I'm like, if they're doing their cardio and conditioning, everybody else has no excuse.
Exactly.
And then on the runner side, there was one that I saw a long time ago where it was like long distance runners, like marathon runners, who lift weights have better times,
Oh yeah.
specifically when it adds to like when they got to go up hills and stuff.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, going up a hill is easier because you're stronger. Beyond like what you're talking about, like the longevity piece too, right? Just keeping
Yeah.
you in better physical ability. You're not breaking down by putting miles on your body as much. But yeah, I mean, there's a performance boost on both sides by doing both of them. So
Yeah, I mean, back to the running stuff. If you're a running athlete to do some sort of lifting, whether you're doing barbell stuff, kettlebell stuff, dumbbell stuff, it's up to the individual. But a lot of running to be better, faster, stronger at it is just maintaining form over a longer period of time. And it doesn't matter if you're running a 100-meter sprint or
yep,
100 miles, the more you can maintain the
yep,
shapes and movement in your form over that distance and duration, the stronger you'll be and a little bit better it'll be of getting faster and efficient and all that stuff. So yeah, again, we're just beating dead horse here, but it's
yeah,
important to lift if you're a runner, if
yep,
you're a lifter, don't shy away from running. And running doesn't have to be go out for 10 miles or go out
yeah,
for 5 miles or go out for
yep,
1 mile. It could be
yep,
intervals of 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off,
yep,
or longer rest periods. But just being able to move your body in upright motion is super important
yep,
to be able to do it efficiently, even if you never do anything close to competing
yeah,
or performance aspect of running.
yep, yep, totally agree. All right, man. So let's jump from that one
Yeah.
to what's TrueForm's involvement in the home gym community? So you talked about kind of your two different models, but what else?
Yeah. So we kind of went to the home gym market initially to start, with CrossFit. I mean, CrossFit obviously we went to the commercial or the box gyms that they have there, but CrossFit is very very big in the home gym community. The garages and the little things they have there, and so we've been around since day one in that space, and we've had the runner model are made in the USA. Originally, it was made in Connecticut. Actually, right out the first of this year for 2025, we make it in Wisconsin. So even more made in America than it was before. We're in the heart of central manufacturing hub. So put that stamp on it, even prouder now. But originally made the products in Connecticut, and it's an all steel, all metal construction, very durable. People loved it, but naturally over the years, the price of that product has kind of moved up a little bit. We've added some more features to it. Price of steel has gone up in the last 10 years. Unfortunately, can't do too much
Yeah.
about that. Manufacturing costs are high, so that's when we came out the trainer in 2020, and that was the goal of that one is like, okay, as this runner, which has different features to make it, pricey, as well as the manufacturing cost of it. How can we take 60 to 70% of what you get out of the runner and put it in a smaller compact package? Part of that is bringing it overseas to Korea.
Sure.
The other part is the trainer has plastic side covers versus all steel construction and aluminum uprights versus steel. So we shave off some cost there as well. But as again, it's like commercial use if you're going to take care of it. There's the Memphis Grizzlies have 10 trainers in their facilities, so you got
Nice.
NBA players running on them. But that trainer has been a strong home gym treadmill. The interesting about the runner with the different features it has different customizable options. You can do it. It comes standard black or white. But if you want it red, purple, blue, green, whatever, you want to match your Rogue squat rack, you want to match this piece of equipment, we can do it.
Sure.
Put your logo on it. We can put artificial turf surface
I've
on it, which is
seen
really
that.
cool. If you want to
Yeah.
wear with cleats or even just barefoot as well. We have a Niboso surface, which is a barefoot surface as well. You do artificial track. It's not Mondo track, but Mondo is like that surface you see at your high school or collegiate track surfaces. It's pretty
Oh,
high
okay.
quality, just like that one.
Like
So
the
we have cleats on
recycled
that,
rubber kind of
the
stuff.
recycled
Okay.
rubber, so it's
Yep.
very durable. Some individuals like that just for it looks cool.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite ones as well. Um, and so yeah, I mean, as much as I say though, the runners, the commercial grade, high-end product, the trainers, the home gym product, I mean, it's so interchangeable.
Sure.
If you're more of a traditional runner, like whether you're a 5K athlete, marathon athlete, or Ironman or something like that, you're putting on some mileage, you might prefer the trainer actually over the runner. And we see that a lot of home gym uses, especially with the triathlete community. They'll have a bike set up and a runner, or sorry, a trainer set up, just because it's a little bit lighter area feel to it, because
Mm,
the materials are a little bit lighter as well. And the runner does really well on the sports performance side of things. If you training high school or collegiate athletes, or you're an athlete yourself, you get a little more posterior chain activation, a little
mm,
more glutes, more hamstrings, more core activation because the belt's a little bit heavier just because of the
sure.
material as well. So, the first question I always ask when people reach out is, "What are you training for? What are you trying to
Sure.
get out of the product, the treadmill, and trying to match it that way, rather than just say, all right, here's the best, best of the
Sure.
best, the runner, and here's our home gym product." Because it could be interchangeable.
Yeah. That makes sense. Cool. All right, man. So, why curved?
Just it's more natural movement. I don't want to sound like a hippy dippy barefoot runner, and you got to do X, Y, and Z to be a perfect runner. But it's trying to take outdoor running and put it into a little vacuum or mirror window of time for you to get the most out of your training and get the most out of just basic running principles, upright running. I mean, like I was talking about before, maintaining upright posture, landing underneath your hips, underneath your center of mass, getting your glutes, getting your core activated, being able to put force in the ground, push the tread back, or use your legs like springs, using your glutes again to translate that outdoors. We come our early side of who TrueForm is, like I said, was CrossFit. The other side of it was kind of some of it was the pose method of running, and then kind of that barefoot community as well. But really just trying to connect your body to the movement that you're performing running. Again, whether you're sprinting, whether you're running long distance, whether you're just trying to hop on for a couple minutes just to do some basic cardio. We want to provide that best experience possible and allow you to get the most out of it. So if you're just doing it for basic health and I just want to complement my lifting or your lifting, you can do that. If you want to use it for the performance aspect of sprinting or long distance running, we don't want to replace anything you do outdoors. We wanted you to take that experience on the TrueForm and be able to enhance whatever else you want to do off the tread. And so we really lean hard into the curved treadmill, and the shape of our curve is patented compared to all of our competitors out there. So there's three or four of them that we compete with around the same price point and in the same kind of markets. And most of them you'll see either pretty steep or the other, I won't name them, but the other popular
Ah,
CrossFit treadmill has a longer tread than ours. And it's great for HIIT, great for what they do, but that's not our principle. It's another comment I get from customers is just I have been to your treadmill versus your competitors. It's a little bit harder to run on. My first kind of time, is that normal? Do you, why is that? Why is this harder? And, I go back to, again, I'm not trying to make a challenging experience. I'm
yeah,
also not trying to make it easy where you just kind of get on and press a
sure,
button. I motorized treadmill, you hop into a gym. Motorized treadmills are great. I'm not anti-motorized treadmill, but you can get on it, you press speed 5, whatever. And as long as you have the balance and you can put one foot in front of the other, you can do the
sure,
work. But are you getting that work that you want to get out of it? Again, there is a tremendous value to motorized treadmills, but in this home gym setting, or light commercial box gym setting. Again, what is the goal of having a treadmill in your space? Do you just want to check the box? Do you
sure.
know what you're doing and you want the motorized treadmill? Again, some of our competitors, they offer steeper curves for certain purposes. Is that what you're looking for? Our ethos and who TrueForm is we want to improve your form. We're TrueForm, and enhance what you're doing on the tread, and provide a space for you to optimize that performance and movement for, again, outdoor running, walking, rucking, whatever you're
Yeah.
trying to do.
Interesting. Okay. So, I mean, I've never owned a treadmill because I've never been
Yeah.
interested in it. I will tell you that that was a fantastic pitch because now I'm actually like, oh, okay, now I can understand what's going on there. So,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I'm picking up. So, motorized is like I'm gonna get my steps in, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Non-motorized is almost towards like pushing a sled,
A
where
little bit. It's depending on different versions, different models, and
yeah,
companies out there. Again, there are some that offer a resistant piece to it. We don't. There is resistance to it just because of
yeah,
the shape of the curve and the weight
yeah,
of the belt. But you will certainly, if you've never been on one before, no matter whose product you use, mine or someone else's, you'll notice more glutes, more hamstrings
yeah.
involved because you
Okay.
actually are pushing into the
Yep.
the belt. And our
Yeah, the
curve is
push.
as
Yep.
shallow as it can possibly be without being flat. So you're landing on a consistent placement of the bottom of the curve. We'd like to call it a little bit of a wave. So you're landing at the bottom of the wave, consistent every time. So if you're someone who runs outside and maybe you're a heel striker, and you kind of feel more dragging, maybe you get some joint pain, knee pain, hip pain, whatever, you'll find that it's a little bit more natural because the true form, it makes it pretty challenging to heel strike. And there's a whole rabbit hole we can go down of is heel striking good or bad or inefficient? Let's not worry about
Sure.
it right now.
Sure.
It is a little bit more efficient to be more midfoot, and
Yeah.
I'll put my claim out there of that's where I sit. But uh, when you're landing on that true form is more consistent, so you can get your midfoot strike. Big toe is really important, and you might know this from lifting of getting the glutes involved, so you can do
Yeah.
that as well on the true form, and that's going to transfer all the way up to the top of your
Yeah.
spine and head, and full body control. So it's going to be more lower impact on your ankles, your knees, your hips, your core. And then you also have to think about the movement you're doing. So you have to maintain that form over a longer period of time. So, I was saying earlier in the conversation of how important it is to maintain form if you're looking for the performance aspect of it, but even just kind of health aspect as well. You'll be forced to engage your core and your glutes and
Yeah.
that position, even if you're just like, hey, I want 10 minutes of walking or running to
Yeah.
just be healthy here. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be performance side of things, but you'll be more engaged every step of the way.
Very cool.
And that's the other side of it too, is if you're someone who hates running just because it's boring or hates treadmill work because it's boring, hop on a true form because you'll be engaged every step of the
You
way.
gotta
It's
actually
not
pay
something where
attention.
you're gonna be
Yeah.
like, all right, I want to check my phone, I want to check this, I want to watch a Netflix movie. Like, you'll be thinking about it,
Yeah.
your movement every step of the way. And so it's a much more enjoyable experience. Funny enough, runners have had to categorize individuals who like or dislike our treadmill.
Sure.
Traditional runners are probably the least, or smallest demographic, just because they come from the motorized space of I hate motorized
Sure.
treadmills. I like the experience of being free outside. And a couple years ago, we went to the New York City Marathon. These marathons have huge expos, so we were
Yeah,
there presenting. And the amount of runners that got on it were like, I hate treadmills, but I just want to try this thing. And they get on, they're like, holy crap, like this is fun, this is exciting. I can put this in front of
sure.
my window or garage door, or I can even put a TV in front.
Yeah,
Zwift is a very popular app with triathletes where it's virtual running, and you can pair the treadmill with the virtual running and kind of run with your friends on the treadmill, which is kind of cool, exciting as well. But
nice.
it's a much more engaging experience than certainly a motorized treadmill. But I would even say to other competitors out there as well.
Cool. Yeah, I had so I go to the farmers market near me every Tuesday, and so a handful of the vendors know me, and one
Mm,
of them, I walk up with my gym stuff on and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, I got a question." Yeah, okay, what's up? My back hurts. Okay.
mm.
What would you do to strengthen your lower back? And I go, "Well, do you know it's your back that's messed up?" She's like, "Well, what do you mean?" I go, well, I'm assuming it's when you pick stuff up, your back hurts because you're a farmer, right? Yeah. I go,
Mhm.
okay, so probably what's messed up is you have tight hips, you have weak glutes, weak
Mhm.
hamstrings. All those things are tight, weak, and your low back is doing all the work for you. And she's like, oh. And then like two or three people are like gonna buy their veggies and they're all looking at me, like listening, and the two farmers
Yeah,
are listening to me, and I'm telling them like a couple of things they can do. And so when you're talking about the like learning to run and using that musculature, that's the stuff
yeah,
that's kicking in my head because you can see it like with kids too. Like my godson, he came over one time. He plays baseball. He's a junior, I think, right now, but he came over and wanted to lift weights, and he's really strong, but he runs like too upright. There's none
yeah,
of like this kind of
yep,
thing. And so I told him and his dad, I'm like, he runs like a brick. Like there's
yeah,
no, he's using all the front of his body and none of the back. And they're like, well, how do we do that? I go, well, he's got to learn how to use the back of his body and improve his
yeah.
sprinting mechanics and all these different things. So yeah, so I can see how it sounds like the goal would be to use a true form. I think, like you said, not like not instead of, but to literally to help you be better in the other things you're doing, right?
100%. And you can certainly use it instead of. I mean,
Sure. Yeah, 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 yeah.
probably more than 50% of my mileage per week is on a treadmill. Some of that is life circumstances of having young kids and you can't physically leave the house, but I can
Sure.
still run 10 miles in my
Yeah.
garage. So that's a wonderful benefit. Also just simply having access to the product is fun too. But yeah, I mean, if you want to run your usual weekly outdoor mileage, you can certainly do that in true form. Certainly, if you're where I am in Connecticut, it's end of
Yep.
December right now. There's snow on the ground, ice on the ground. You don't want to run outside. You can certainly do all that on the treadmill. But yeah, probably one of the best applications and the conversation I have most with customers is just like, I'm not trying to replace outdoor running. Do
Yep.
as much as outdoor running as possible, but when will you have another opportunity to be in a physical spot, be able to do the exact same running you would do outdoors, and even get the feedback if you want to record yourself and send a video if you're working with a coach, say,
Yeah.
hey coach, here's what I did today. How does my form look, or how do I look?
Sure.
Or if you want to put a mirror up, there's so many different applications that you can do with that, but you can put yourself literally in a window and break down your form and your effort and
Yep.
see what's working, see what's not, and improve it over time. And so that's really the goal, is just to have a positive outcome, not replace anything, but to just improve what you're already doing outside of, the treadmill.
Very cool. I like it. Okay, let's wrap it up. That was a great
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
So number five, our last one. So tell me one reason why people should be excited about your upcoming AMA.
Yeah, I'm an open book as long as it doesn't get into the weeds of legal stuff or patent things I can't go over. Ask me anything about
Uh,
TrueForm, about running, about form mechanics. How does TrueForm would fit into your training, lifestyle, all that stuff? I'll answer all of it. I'm excited. We take pride in TrueForm that if you call us, email us, go through the chat box, you're going to get someone who cares and someone who's been through it. That's really the difference of TrueForm. We're not just some guys or girls just selling treadmills across the internet. Like I said earlier in the conversation, I'm a runner. I've done 300-mile races. I've done marathons, 5Ks. We have other team members who are more traditional lifting and come from that sports performance background. I've traveled the world coaching and educating on running as well. So we're people who walk the talk, run the
Yep.
talk, all that stuff. And so that's who we are. So open book on the Ask Me Anything. We also have some really exciting products coming out this year, some refresh versions of the runner, a completely all new trainer, really taking ourselves to the next level for 2025 and beyond and bringing us into our next phase of life. So some of it might be announced right before this AMA. Some of it will be announced at the AMA. Might have an opportunity to walk away with one of our new products. But we have some really exciting things, and this is going to be a great timing for us to launch and discuss it with the community at large, and just really be open and honest and excited about who we are and what we can do to help and be a part of your lives.
Awesome, man. I like it. Cool. All right, everybody, that's the end of the AMA warm up today. I will put links in the description for details on the dates of the AMA so you can come over and ask Zach all your good questions. Links to find more on TrueForm and all those good things, so make sure you check that out. Otherwise, make sure you come on over to Reddit, our home gym, talk to Zach, all the other good AMAs coming. That's it. Thanks, man.
See ya.
There
Thanks.
you go.